11 after 8 right now. The original mission of the Enterprise was to seek out new forms of life. Well, Joel Siegel is with us this morning to tell us how much life is in the new Star Trek movie. Say a lot.
A lot.
Tell me. Good.
A lot. Good time. When last we left the crew of the Starship Enterprise, they had just overcome the wrath of Khan, all but Mr. Spock, the Vulcan first officer who, putting the needs of the many ahead of the needs of the few, gave his life to save his ship and his shipmates. His lifeless body was shot through space to a dead, arid, sterile planet where something called the Genesis effect occurred. The dead planet bloomed into life, oceans, atmosphere, trees, and the movie came to an end. Star Trek fans have had to wait 2 years for Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. 2 years to uncover the mystery, does Spock live? Well, I'm going to tell you up front, I'm not going to tell you.
Help me, Jim. Take me home. Bones, we are. We are home. Then perhaps it's not too late. Climb the steps, Jim. Climb the steps of Mount Thalia.
Ah, the voice is that of Spock, but the lips are that of Dr. Bones McCoy. That means a trip back to the Genesis planet and a reconditioned Enterprise saved from the junkyard.
I can't ask you to go any further. Dr. McCoy and I have to do this. The rest of you do not.
Admiral, we're losing precious time.
What course, please, Admiral?
Mr. Scott?
I'd be grateful, Admiral, if you'd give the word.
And the old gang is back together again. Unfortunate emphasis on old. Look at their faces. Look at those lines. Congress couldn't solve the Social Security crisis in 1985, and 200 years later, nobody can afford to retire. We are cutting it close, guys. I figure Star Trek IV, The Search for Collagen Treatments. A few points. Star Trek went on the air in 1966, canceled in 1969, not enough viewers. This is the third film, the first two huge $100 million hits. Movie numbers different than TV numbers. If 20 million people watch a TV show, it's not enough, you're off the air. If 20 million people pay first-run money to see a movie, you are a hit, and this movie is going to be. Filled with Trekkie inside stuff like Spock's father playing Spock's father, and enough sci-fi action to make it fun for the rest of us.
Klingon bird appraiser. She's arming torpedoes.
Fire, Mr. Scott.
The Klingons, led by Christopher Lloyd, bad guys with brains outside their heads whose dogs have never heard of milk bones. Can you imagine the breath on that guy? Yes, they want the Genesis planet. The power to create life means the power to destroy life, and the chase is on. There is nice action, nice special effects. Not as impressive as Star Trek II, the better film. Part of the problem, I think, is that Leonard Nimoy directed. He plays Spock, and he's too close to the material. Too much is too inside. But Trekkies will go nuts. It opens today in a record 1,966 theaters. That's smart. Beam me up, Scotty, to summertime's second humongous hit. David.
Yeah, it really is
fun.
It's fun.